Training supervisor Vexen watched the new human handler, David Chun, interact with the youngest Korvath cub. The creature was notorious, playful but rough, not yet understanding the damage its jaws could inflict. Careful with that one, Vexen warned, his scales rippling nervously. It doesn't know its own strength. Last week it broke Handler Krill's manipulator arm during play. David nodded, extending his hand toward the cub. Hey there, little guy. Want to play? The cub's 6 eyes lit up. It pounced forward, playful and energetic, and clamped its jaws down on David's hand. Pull back, Vexen shouted, rushing forward. It will bite through. David didn't move, didn't flinch, didn't pull away. He simply stood there, hands still extended, looking calmly down at the cub. Blood began to seep between the creature's teeth. The cub, expecting the usual reaction, a yelp, a jerk away, maybe a strike, got nothing. Just stillness. Just steady, unflinching presence. Confused, the cub released its grip slightly, not quite letting go, but loosening. It looked up at David with what might have been uncertainty. David still didn't move. His voice was low, calm, but carried unmistakable authority. No, not angry, not scared. Just no. The cub released completely and stepped back, head lowering. Its ears flattened against its skull. For the first time since its arrival at the facility, the mischievous cub showed genuine submission. Then, slowly, it pressed its head to the ground in a full bow. Vexen stood frozen, his translator struggling to process what he'd witnessed. Ow, that's an adult submission display. Cubs don't. Cubs test boundaries, David said quietly, finally withdrawing his bleeding hand and wrapping it with a bandage from his pocket, never breaking eye contact with the cub. They bite, they push, they see what they can get away with. It's how they learn pack hierarchy. The cub remained bowed, waiting. Most handlers pull away when bitten, David continued. That teaches the cub that biting makes threats disappear. It reinforces the behavior. He crouched down to the cub's level. But if you don't react, if you show that pain doesn't control you, they understand something deeper. That you're stronger than they thought. But your hand, Vexen gestured at the bloody bandage. The pain, David smiled slightly. Hurts like hell, actually, but I grew up with dogs. Got bitten plenty during training. You never yank away from a bite. That's when real damage happens. You stay calm, wait for release, then immediately establish you're the authority. He reached out slowly and touched the cub's lowered head. Good. That's better. The cub made a soft whimpering sound, pressing into his touch. It's not angry at me, Vexen observed, astonished. It's apologetic. It understands boundaries now, David said. I didn't hurt it, didn't punish it, didn't reject it. I just showed it that biting doesn't work on me. That I'm the one in control, not its teeth. He scratched behind the cub's ears. Aren't you troublemaker? The cub's tail began to wag, cautiously. David stood, and the cub immediately moved to his side, pressing against his leg in a way it had never done with any handler before. Vexen shook his head slowly. Your species willingly endures pain to teach lessons without violence. It's disturbing. It's patience, David corrected, watching the cub that now followed his every movement with devoted attention. Violence teaches fear. Fear creates unstable animals. But respect. He looked at Vexen. Respect creates loyalty. And you don't get respect by being the biggest or the meanest. You get it by being unmovable when everything else would break. The cub sat on command, eyes fixed on David, the mischief replaced with something else entirely. Trust. Vexen made a note in his report. Recommend all future predator handlers be human. We clearly don't understand what we're doing. They do.